So, and I binge watched like season 1 and 2, and then season 3 came out like as soon as I finished season 2. So I've just been back to back to back chaos with this show, and I just needed a break for a minute. It wasn't even anything crazy serious, but I just needed some time. So I haven't watched in like a week or maybe 2 at this point, but I'm hoping that this will give me my little boost to finish the season. I think there's only like 4 or 5 episodes left, so I'm almost done. Yeah, so I'm gonna chew some gum, and we're gonna have a little chat about my thoughts on the first half of the season. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. I'm gonna take a little sip of water first. I went to Philly to visit my boyfriend over this past weekend, July 4th weekend, and I left my water bottle on the train on the way there, and I was so upset about it. And I had just like a regular little hydrocell water bottle, like my fake little hydro flask, but it had a straw in it, so I could just like that instead of having to, which I'm about to do right now. A little bit of ice. Okay, now let me get my Orbit peppermint gum. 2 pieces. It's so hot in my room. The gum is like almost melted. Boom. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Chaos. Okay. I've got my notes here. My handy dandy little notebook. I'm sorry if you can hear people like chatting in the background. It is summertime in New York City, and there's just no escaping the noise, unfortunately. I've tried really hard. Alright, so where we left off, at the end of season 2, they're about to launch the restaurant, and Carm gets stuck in the walk-in during family night, and what's her name? What's Carm's girlfriend's name? Claire overhears him kind of confessing that he's simply not good for her, and there's no point in pursuing a relationship. So they're like broken up at this point, kind of, because she overhears this whole thing, and she's like, okay, cool, nice chat, see you later. And honestly, I don't really blame her, but I feel like they should talk. Anyway, we'll get to that. So yeah, that's pretty much where we left off in season 2. Now, season 3 starts off. Episode 1, I'm super impressed by how the restaurant is looking. I literally wrote, the restaurant looks amazing. But Carm, for some reason, is like kicking stuff. He's like super angry. I guess like closing shift didn't really clean up properly. It's like unclear whether this is like the day after family night, or I don't know. I'm not really sure, like timeline wise, where we're at, but it's not like very far after family night. It has to be like a week or less, right? If not the next day. He's having like these flashbacks, and it's just scenes of when he was training in New York City and how he became so like dedicated and disciplined, and also they fixed the door to the walk-in, so hopefully nobody gets stuck now. Everybody's super worried about like Richie and Carm's relationship, and I'm just like, I'm more worried about Carm and Claire. Like, I feel like Richie and Carm are gonna be fine. They're like brothers at this point. Like, they're gonna be okay. They will fix it. They just need to duke it out because they got, like, at the end of season 2, they got into this big argument when Carm was stuck in the walk-in, and they were saying all these, like, mean things to each other. But I mean, and they're still kind of in a fight. Like, things are super awkward. We'll get to that in the next episode, I think. But yeah, I feel like they're gonna be fine, and I'm more worried about his relationship with Claire. Marcus's mom passed away, which is super sad, but I love that Sid is there for him, and I'm still rooting for them and their relationship. We already knew that Carm didn't go to Mike's funeral, so Mike is his brother that passed away. We already knew that he didn't go to his funeral, but when he's having his little flashbacks, we see a scene of him literally sitting in his car outside the funeral, which honestly kind of makes me feel a little bit better, because the way it was framed kind of made me feel like maybe he stayed in New York and, you know, he couldn't, like, face being there, which is true, but at least he, like, got up the guts to actually go there. And I kind of understand not wanting to get out of the car. Let's be honest, like, that's a hard situation, and he struggles with anxiety and depression already. I'm gonna assume that he struggles with depression. It's what it looks like. It's not been said, but definitely anxiety. And, like, I understand where he's coming from, not getting out the car. But I appreciate his effort to actually go there, though. Because before I thought that he just, like, didn't even bother to go, and he was just, like, working in New York City while everybody's at his brother's funeral. So I do feel better about the situation now. Oh, and we also get a flashback of Sid eating Carm's food in New York City. She did mention, I think it was like in the first season or maybe the second one, that she went to New York City and just, like, she, like, quit her job or whatever she was doing at the time, went to New York City and just went to all the best restaurants and, like, taste tested a bunch of food. And I guess that's how she, not that she met Carm, but that's how she found out about Carm, right? And yeah, I thought that was really precious. Alright, then we're on to episode 2. And immediately I'm thinking Carm is manic. He's, like, redoing the menu. He's writing down he's, like, handing out these non-negotiables. And, like, I understand where he's coming from. But even just from now, I'm thinking, like, why does this have to happen right now? Like, this is too much. Baby steps, right? Like, I know we want to get a star. We want to be, like, a high-rated restaurant, get a star in your first year kind of thing. But you can't just rush into things like this. So he's starting all these non-negotiables. I can't remember off the top of my head what the non-negotiables were. And it wasn't, like, anything super unfair. It's just, like, this is a team that had absolutely no structure, like, just a couple months ago, and now you're, like, completely changing their lives, and they're, like, it's just too much too soon, I feel like. Yeah, and then he's, like, first of all, he's not consulting Sid for any of these things. He's just, like, making up his mind and doing it. Not only for the non-negotiables, but he's also, like, changing the menu. He's like, we're gonna change the menu every day, which is absolutely insane. I understand that there are 5-star restaurants out there that do that, have a different menu every day, but y'all are not at that level, brosiv. Let me tell you that right now. Not at that level yet. He also quit smoking, which I feel like is contributing to his manic episodes right now. I wrote lots of pushing going on. I don't remember what I meant by that, but then Richie comes in. They're still like, you know, okay, Carm apologized to Richie, right? But Richie's not, like, accepting his apology for whatever reason. And so they're still, like, at odds. minutes, I guess I'll say. So Richie comes in and he's super upset because Carm like reorganized the tables, which I thought was so childish. Like, get over it. It's Carm's restaurant. Let him rearrange the tables if he wants to. It's not a big deal. He was also upset about the non-negotiables, which I can understand because, like I said, I feel like they gotta take steps towards that, and they weren't ready for that yet. And then Fack, my favorite guy, Fack, comes in to lighten the mood. He's like, nah, the vibe is weird. Which automatically, to me, like, changes the whole vibe. But to everybody else involved, it did not. Let's see what else. Yeah, so they're just, like, arguing back and forth about the non-negotiables and, like, just focus and, like, make your money, bro. Like, y'all need to make money. That's what you need to be focusing on. Getting clients in the door, getting food on the table, making the money. You know what I mean? And then Richie low-blowed Carm because he made a comment about Claire. I can't remember what the comment was, but it was definitely a low blow. Totally unnecessary. And also in episode 2, we find out that all of the servers quit because they did not want to work in a dysfunctional environment, which I can understand. Everybody's yelling at each other in the back. Like, please, let's get it together, you guys. And then we want to be worried about non-negotiables and, like, changing the menu every day. Like, please, priorities. Episode 3, at this point, I realized that the episodes are only 30 minutes. Like, did you guys know that? I didn't know that. And if I did know that, I forgot. I feel like they put so much content into those 30 minutes that it feels just much longer to me. I definitely didn't realize that they were only 30 minutes. But anyway, beginning of episode 3, we're at Marcus's mom's funeral. R.I.P. to her. And then this is the Doors episode, so everybody's just screaming Doors. Because I guess it's like opening week, and when the doors open, they yell Doors, and everybody's ready for the chaos of the night, right? To me, the flow was looking really good. I was super impressed by them. Cousin Richie looked like, he was super in his element. He was working the floor. Carm was coming for, what's her name? What is her name? Carm was coming for Tina. Carm was coming for Tina because she made a dish and it wasn't perfect, and Richie was like, no, we have to put it out, like, they've been waiting for too long. And Carm was like, no, if it's not perfect, it's not going out. So Tina had to refire, whatever it's called. She had to refire the dish. Like, how do I feel about this? I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know, y'all. I keep trying to empathize with Carm, but I feel like he's just taking things a little bit too far. Like, he needs to slow his roll a little bit. I feel like he's being overly ambitious. That's how I feel. And then Uncle Cicero is his name. Cicero comes in and he's over here being a penny pincher. Like, I feel like now is not the time, bro. You should have done this a week ago. But he's over here talking about, like, and I understand where he's coming from too, because again, we're going back to the fact that they keep Carm is dead set on switching the menu every day, which means that they're buying ingredients in bulk and then not really even using them, which is absolutely insane. You just opened the restaurant. You owe, I forgot how much money they owe Cicero at this point, but it's like a ridiculous amount of money, and you're wasting money on cheese. Like, please be for real. And he's like, oh, it's imported. It's from Orwell. Like, who cares, bro? I get it. Honestly, I get it. The cheese is expensive for a reason, but, like, at least change the menu every week. Every day is absolutely wild. You need to use the materials that you've already purchased. You're absolutely wasting money that way. So I understand where Cicero's coming from, but also time and place. People in this show really do not understand time and place. Richie's stressed out at this point because the food has to be perfect when it goes out. It's taking longer than expected. He's out there on the floor, you know, chatting up the customers and stuff, but it's chaos in the kitchen. Well, to them, it's chaos, but I feel like everything was going really great. Like, I would go to this restaurant tomorrow if you asked me to. So Richie starts his own non-negotiables, and Karma's pissed because it's just bad timing. Also, there was like a birthday, and I understand that Richie wants to go like above and beyond for the customers and get people wanting to come back and stuff like that, but he like bought a piñata, which is so like not the vibe of the restaurant. So that was very interesting to me. And then Richie drops a plate. Fac wants to be helpful. He wants to run a dish. So I forgot what it's called. It's like I forgot what the dish was called. But basically, he has to take it out and then pour the broth on top when he serves it at the table, right? But he took it out. He poured the broth on top, and then he brought it back to the kitchen instead of leaving it at the table. I could not even be mad. I just had to chuckle because, like, it's such a fact thing to do. So he comes back into the kitchen, and Richie comes back right behind him, and Karma's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you still holding that? Why is it not at the table?" And then Richie's right behind, going like, "Yeah, I know, I saw the whole thing," and he grabs it from him and he goes and takes it out. But I don't know what anybody expected. Like, I didn't expect anything less or more from Fac, to be honest. Okay, so where am I? I lost my place in my notes. Okay, April's on the to-go section, which I really love the to-go section because they kept it like authentic to the restaurant, which is really cool. Just like you know, the same sandwiches that they always used to serve, but just on the go. And April's in charge, and I really love that for him. I love that they allowed him that responsibility. Yeah, I wrote that I'm impressed so far. Tina's freaking out because whatever, she had that bad dish earlier, so now she's like all flustered. Everybody's kind of freaking out. They need more turnover. Like they need to get people out of the seats and, you know, have the next round of people coming in faster, so they can make more money. So that's basically the consensus of everybody right now. Oh yeah, Richie, to combat this, decided to grab a table and be like, "Hey, do you want to see the kitchen?" So they go into the kitchen, and of course Karma's yelling as always. Everybody's always yelling in the freaking kitchen. It's so annoying. The menu thing is totally not working. Money's low. Rich and Karma are fighting as usual, and then they knock down the tickets. They knocked down the tickets, bro, and this is what I mean by like the chaos and the anxiety. Like, it just stresses me out to watch this show sometimes. And like I said, I feel like everything's going really smooth to me, but the way that the characters react make me more anxious. Like, I feel like everything's going fine. If this was my restaurant, I would be so proud. But the fact that everybody here is like freaking out freaks me out. So much chaos is what I wrote. Yeah, and why did Richie buy Super Soakers? Yeah, he had like this idea for an event that involves Super Soakers. So like, you're spending money on Super Soakers, but there's no money coming in yet. Wild. Totally wild. And nobody's very business minded in this place, I feel. Except for Cicero. Karma's panicking, and Sid is like, "I'm not your babysitter, you need to calm down," which, good for her, power to her, because he's always having a freaking panic attack. Like, again, sympathetic, empathetic to Karma's situation, but like, calm down, bro, and go have a cigarette if that's what you need to do. Like, you don't have to cold turkey yourself, okay? Just wean yourself off of the cigarettes if that's what you need to do. Like, you're stressing me out, bro. Alright, now we're on to episode 4, and the first thing I said is I miss Claire for Carm. I feel like Claire was really good at helping him calm himself down, talking him down from his panic attacks, right? Which is like, doesn't necessarily need to be her responsibility, but if she was willing moments in his life, and I feel like she was that person for him, and now he kind of ruined it, and I don't see him making any efforts to fix it. Let's talk about this partner agreement, right? So they came up with a partner agreement that's between Carm, Natalie, Carm's sister, and Sydney, right? So it just basically states how the restaurant will be divided between the three of them monetarily, right? Which is awesome. I love that. I love that there's paperwork. I love that they're being legit about it. But for some reason, Sid is a little bit hesitant, and I'm wondering, like, what does it say? Like, what's the deal? And they don't really get into it, and I want to know why she doesn't want to sign it, right? So, like, even Cicero at this point is like, bro, it takes 2 seconds to sign it. Like, why haven't you signed it yet? What's going on? So to me, it seems like everybody else thinks that it's a fair deal, but maybe she doesn't. I just want to know what the deal is. Also, at this point, I completely forgot that Richie's baby mom is getting married to Frank, is his name. Yes, Frank. And I kind of love Frank after this episode because he really, like, he approached Richie and was like, look, I should have warned you. I should have come to you first before I proposed. As a man, like, out of respect for you and your relationship and your daughter, I should have come to you. And Richie's like, no, like, it's not a big deal. It's not my decision, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, no, I know that, but still, I shouldn't have, like, caught you off guard like that. So I really appreciate Frank for that. And he seems to really care about, like, the daughters. So that's wonderful. I really love it. But I'm also really sad for Richie. I feel like he's really getting his feet on the ground, and, like, now would be a good time for him to, like, get a second chance with this baby mom because he really seems to love her and their family. But, you know, apparently it's too little too late for her. So that, I mean, that sucks. It is what it is. Also, I wrote in my little side margin, do you guys know that Apple commercial with the fish? Like, why does that commercial come on so often? And it's really annoying. I absolutely hate it. Let me know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Then some chef from some prestigious restaurant that I don't remember walks up to Sid in the street and is basically complimenting her on how well things are going for her restaurant. He was like, yeah, I have to admit, like, I snuck in there, like, I ate there and the food was impeccable, and, like, giving her all the props and the kudos, but she didn't really seem happy about it. I don't know, something's up with Sid this season. She's feeling, like, really skeptical, it seems like. And I don't know, maybe it's just, like, Carm's attitude that is throwing her off. But I really hope she doesn't let that, like, hinder her and their success. At the same time, though, I can understand why she would, because it seems like she expected to be equal partners in this, and Carm is really just, like, taking the reins himself in a lot of aspects, which is definitely not fair to Sid. So I see where she's coming from, but I hope that things work out. Then she goes back to the restaurant and she calls Carm out for poor communication, which is awesome. Like, this is my thing. Like, I feel like Carm is open to the feedback. I don't know, because this season he's really not been open to anything, but usually he's pretty open to feedback. And maybe he doesn't always receive it well right away, but it seems like once he reflects on things, he does kind of, like, he just needs time to process things to realize that, okay, maybe she's right, like, maybe I could do this differently. So I like that she is able to comfort him whenever she's feeling like things are not fair. I just hope that, because the way Carm is acting this season, I just hope that he can make those changes for their business, for their partnership. Again, I feel bad for Richie because he's, like, contemplating his relationship with his daughter now, because the daughter seems to really like Frank and he just wants his family to be happy, and he's feeling like they might be happier without him, and, now that they have Frank. So I feel so bad for Richie, and I personally, I don't think that she would be better off. And he's talking to Natalie when he's thinking of all this, and she says the same thing, like, that's like the opposite of what the daughter needs. And it's just, I love that she now has two fathers. That's wonderful for her. So I'm definitely rooting for them, and I'm coming to like Richie now, because he was a pain in my butt for the first 2 seasons, but he's really coming into his own. Okay, and then at the end of the episode, they find out that they have been reviewed by the Tribune, which is, I guess, like a newspaper. And when people come to review, they don't announce themselves, so the review's already out, and there's a photographer coming to take pictures for the article in the paper. So now episode 5, and this is going to be the last episode that I talk about until part 2. One of Carm's non-negotiables is for everybody to crush the boxes, and in the beginning of this episode, he's literally standing in the dumpster with a whole bunch of boxes not crushed. And as a former salon manager, I absolutely 100% feel his pain. Like, how hard is it to crush a box and place it nicely in the garbage? Why can't we crush our boxes, guys? If you empty a box, just crush it. It's not a big deal. Anyway, so, and then Marcus apologizes to Sydney for asking her on a date, which I thought was so stupid. Please go on a date already. Please, they both need it at this point. They need this relationship. I need this relationship for them. The woman chef who Carm trained under and then sent Richie to go train with in New York, she is shutting down her restaurant. And everybody's in a panic about it. They're like, oh my god, is fine dining over? Like, is it dead? So now they're all contemplating like whether or not they should even pursue their restaurant, because she closed down her restaurant. Like, please, get over it. Restaurants close all the time. And it seemed like she was actually happy to do so. Like, she's ready to retire. Leave that woman alone. Focus on your own life. Okay, and at this point, Carm is finally second-guessing his decision to change the menu every day. So, proud of him. Growth is coming, I hope. I think I mentioned this in the last recap that I did of this show, but I read all of the, like, synopses of the future episodes that I haven't seen yet, and I am, like, nervous for what's to come. So, like, I kind of already know that things are gonna go downhill, but I don't know, I'm holding out hope that, you know, they'll resolve themselves a little bit differently than what I'm expecting. Alright, so now this guy Computer comes in, and he must be a family friend because everybody knows him and his name is Computer. And he's here to discuss finances and what they need to downsize on, right? Also, while this is happening, the photographer for the Tribune is taking pictures, so they're like waxing the floors and getting everything ready. Also, they want to take a picture of the dish that was served, and it was a duck dish. One, they're not serving duck because, remember, the menu changes every day. Two, since the menu changes every day, Carm can't even remember what the dish was exactly, because even if they made a duck dish one day, they could have made a different duck dish on a different day. So, like, get it together, you know what I'm saying? Like, no changing the menu every day, please be for real. Richie and Fack are harassing the photographer because they think that he has read the review. Also, they don't have duck in the restaurant, so now they've got to send. Oh, and then another Fack brother is introduced, right? Also, like, I don't remember their first names, so I'm just calling them all Facks. But the original Fack brother, like the one that actually works there, he's the best one. The other one, that comes around like the maintenance guy sometimes, he's like the opposite of Fack. He's like, he just brings dum-dum energy. That's how I feel about him. Just like that's the type of energy. That's so rude to say, but that's what he brings. And then we meet another fat brother, and I cannot put my finger on who he is in real life right now, but it's like a famous actor who plays him, and I can't remember who it is at this very moment. I'm gonna feel so dumb when I find out who it is. But anyway, he comes in and he's like even more chaotic, and then they have this whole like haunting thing because one of the facts took the new facts hard drive, and like anyway, I'm not getting into this whole storyline, but all this is happening and the photographer is here trying to take pictures for the Tribune. Like, can y'all please handle yourselves like adults? But no, they cannot. Anyway, okay, so the new fact brother, they send him out to go get the dog, which I feel like this is why I had to stop watching, because I'm so prepared for things to go downhill from here. Computer wants to get rid of Marcus, and Natalie was like, absolutely no, stay away from Marcus, I'll punch you. She didn't say she'll punch him, but she should. And again, I'm asking, why won't Sid sign the agreement? And at the end of this episode, Carm finds Dee Dee's box. It's just a box that says Dee Dee on the front. So another reason that I was anxious to continue this season, because I don't know, I'm not ready for the Dee Dee can of worms. Like I said in my last recap, I was really glad that Dee Dee did not show up to the restaurant. I was actually happy that she left. I feel like, their life is chaotic enough and they don't need more of her chaos and all of her sob story. So that's how I feel about that. And that is where I'm gonna leave it for today. Yeah, I think I pretty much gave all my thoughts. This video is already longer than I wanted it to be. So I hope you all have enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. And stay tuned for part 2 coming soon. Either next week or the week after. I hope. It's only a few more episodes. And I'm ready to get back into it now that I've read all my notes. I'm ready to just close this chapter of my life. So, yeah. Like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel, and I will see you. I will see you in